Let's start off this episode by just getting to the elephant in the room here. We're in the Stanley Cup final in the first series that followed the San Jose Sharks series, which went the way that it did. If you watched the series, you know, and if you didn't, well, hopefully that leaves it to be questionable enough as to what happened. Feel free to check out that series if you haven't already. We are 4 wins away from winning a Stanley Cup in Season 1, which a lot of people are on the side of, if you win here, just end it because you accomplished your goal. Move on to a different team, which, you know, the thing is, I really do want to see how things would go with this roster. I mean, you know, the whole holding on to Bobrovsky thing could be a very interesting storyline throughout this. Of course, you know, having Aaron Ekblad, there are some decent players on this team, of course, to build around, especially when it comes to younger forwards. I am really intrigued to see how a series would go long term with the Florida Panthers, and we probably, even if we win here, will still go for a couple of seasons. You know, I do have a team in mind that I picked Florida to use first over them, and we could go with them if we wanted to. But the bottom line is, it's insane to think that we are in the Stanley Cup final against the Dallas Stars, and that we could win this thing in Season 1. The team, of course, you are well aware of how they are set up. Jonathan Huberdeau, 19 points in 17 games. He's been phenomenal. Sasha Barkov has been phenomenal, 22 points to this point. Evgeny Dadonov, only 15 points in 17 games. But he does have a very nice goals and assist total. And of course, I mean, this might be Evgeny Dadonov's last season here. He always seems to hit free agency with the Panthers at the end of Season 1, so I don't know if we'd be holding on to him anyway. That was going to be one of the first big decisions we had, alongside whether or not we hold on to Mike Hoffman, who's now 30 years old, but he has 20 points in 17 games on that second line, next to Vinny Trocheck, who has 21 points in 17 games. He's been insane, and Brett Connolly's point a game. So that top 6 to be performing at as high of a level as they are is incredibly frustrating when I've had much better top 6s perform. Well, then again, I can't even really say much better top 6s. I mean, everyone's an 86 or up except for Connolly. Like, that is a very strong top 6. And then you get to the third line, which really woke up in that Islanders series. Dryden Hunt, in particular, now up to 7 points with 4 goals. Noel Acciari, the same thing. Colton Sceviour with 5 points. It was the fourth line that was a little bit quiet, too, until Vetrano started to wake up. Boyle's been Mulligan's been But overall, this team's been performing at a very high level. Mackenzie Weegar's been great. Ekblad's been solid. Yandel and Strawman turned out to be a phenomenal pairing in that last series. And then Matheson and Pysyk have been fine as well. So it comes down to whether or not old Sergei Bobrovsky is going to show up, because despite a sub-900 save percentage, he's only lost 5 games. It doesn't seem possible, but that is the reality that we are looking at. Now, what I wanted to check here, I mean, changing things, probably not a great idea, but I wanted to take a look at special teams and to see what the power play and penalty kill percentages are like to this point. We have been averaging 4 goals per game, Dallas at 3, but we're averaging 2.88 against per game, Dallas at a 2.13, which is not surprising. We're at a 21% on the power play, they're at a 29%, but our penalty kill has been phenomenal, nearly a 93, they're at 87.5. So, and the home records have also been great for both teams. We've actually scored 2 shorthanded goals in this postseason run. So, the power play, something I'm a little bit concerned about, but I think we'll leave it for now. And that might be, that might not be the best move, but hey, we've made it this far. Why make any changes, even if, there might be a slight concern, ever so slightly. So let's see what we are up against. This is the Stars team that we will be battling. Jamie Benn on the top line, no real surprise. I mean, 17 points through 15 games, that sounds about right. Tyler Seguin with 18 points, 11 goals, and Alex Radulov has 22 points in 15 games. Good God. The second line is Blake Como, who has not been tremendous, next to Joe Pavelski, who has 6 points, and Corey Perry with 5, so that second line's been a bit off. Third line is Matthias Janmark, Radek Faksa, and Rupe Hintz with his 6 points. Fourth line of Andrew Cogliano, Jason Dickinson, and Denis Gurianov. So what that screams to me is that, yeah, we have the massive advantage in terms of offensive output through the playoffs up to this point, but you kind of know what you're gonna get when we look at Ben Bishop's save percentage, right? We all kind of know what's about to happen. Miro Heiskanen's up to an 88, 15 points in 15 games, next to John Klingberg on that top pairing. Esa Lindell and Jamie Alexiak have been solid. Alexiak takes penalties, though, which is good news for us. And Andrei Sekera next to Stephen Johns. The goaltender, Benjamin Bishop, who has a .930 save percentage. And Anton Khudobin, who has a 20-save shutout in this postseason. Healthy scratches, Taylor Fadoon, Justin Dowling, and Roman Polak. So, yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a similar situation to what we were dealing with in that Islanders series, where it's like, Varlamov's killing it. Can we get to him? Ultimately, we did. We absolutely lit up the Islanders. Are we going to be able to do the same against Dallas and Ben Bishop? Well, I wasn't confident against Varlamov, so I'm certainly not confident heading into this series against Ben Bishop. But who's to say? We have the edge offensively, we have the edge defensively, by 2 in each of those categories. Tyler Seguin's got a hell of a playoff beard going there. It's time to find out what's going to happen here. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. All right. We ready for this? Let's do it. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Florida and Dallas. Here we go. First period, a goal apiece. Jonathan Huberdeau scores the opening goal. Joe Pavelski tied it with 27 seconds remaining. Second period, Dallas takes the lead. Radek Faksa with the goal. 24 shots to 14 in our favor, yet they have the lead. That sounds about right. Bishop versus Bobrovsky, that's about what I expected. We go to the third. Can we get another puck past Ben Bishop? That is the big question. Will we ever get another puck past Ben Bishop? That is what we are waiting to find out. We're halfway through the third, and things aren't looking too good until they are. Jonathan Huberdeau ties it, his second goal of the game. Are we destined for overtime, or will there be a late winner? Overtime is the answer. So Jonathan Huberdeau doing quite well. Ben Bishop keeping his team in it despite the shot differential. We go to OT in Game 1. Predictions for who's going to score the winner? I don't know. I don't dare guess. But here we go. Let's see what happens. Overtime, Game 1. Who is going to win it? Are we destined for a little bit of double OT magic? Let's find out. We are halfway through this overtime. Double OT seems like it's on the horizon. Under 5 minutes to go. We're going to double overtime for sure. Yep, there it is. 45 shots to 29. We're going to double overtime. I have no confidence that we're going to win this. But I do have confidence, of course, that it's going to end within 3 to 5 seconds tops, as it always does. So here we go. Who's going to win it? Place your bets. Who's going to score that game-winning goal? Here it is, the winner of Game 1, the Florida Panthers. Vinny Trocheck. 2 minutes and 15 seconds in. Vincent Trocheck from a terrible angle. Absolutely terrible. Beats Ben Bishop on our 48th shot of the game. And the Florida Panthers take Game 1 and are 3 wins away from the Stanley Cup. 2 goals for Huberdeau. A solid save percentage for Bobrovsky ultimately. It wasn't the best game he ever had to start things off, but we were able to overcome it. And as you look at that top line, absolutely carried us in that game. And again, Bob with that .931 save percentage. I'm very intrigued to see what Ben Bishop finished that game with. a 9:38. Respectable 82 minutes. And 15 seconds later, we finally found a winner. Rough game for the Oleksiak-Lindell pairing, which is very good news for me. Very good news indeed. We go to game 2. Again, 3 wins away. Let's see what happens here. Game 2. Here we go. First period is scoreless. We doubled them up in shots, so Ben Bishop continuing to do what Ben Bishop does. Second period, we are tied on the scoreboard now, though. 24 shots to 18, but 1 goal apiece. Vincent Trocheck with the goal, but Jamie Benn is able to tie it. A very early goal, 41 seconds in, but Ben is able to tie it. Third period, here we go. Another very close game. Early power play chance for us here. That goes to waste. Not really surprised. It's a close series. It's what we more expected against the Islanders, and then just magically didn't happen. Mike Hoffman scores. We are up by 1 with 7 minutes remaining. What can we do here? Wow, we can blow the lead. Tyler Seguin with 2:19 left. We're going to overtime again. 36 shots to 26. 2 all on the board. And we are going to overtime for the second game in a row here on home ice to begin this Cup final. Let's see what happens. Will there be a winner in this first OT? Yes, there will be, and it happened quickly. Radek Faksa, a minute and 35 into it. And the Stars take game 2 off of another strong performance from Ben Bishop. This time, though, they were able to get the goal. 37 shots, 27 in our favor, but a 3-2 loss. I expect Bishop to be the first star, and he is. Ben and Seguin did quite well. The big names show up for Dallas, and we just couldn't find a way to get enough offense. So 3-2 finals and back-to-back overtimes. This series is tied at 1 game apiece. Tempted to change the lines, but we won't yet. We're going to jump right into it. It's game 3 in Dallas. What's going to happen here? The first period's been extremely close one way or another. Will that result change? Let's find out. The answer is, not really. It's still just a 1-goal lead. Jamie Benn, 11 shots apiece. Ben has the difference maker thus far. Second period, we bounce back. Frank Vatrano and Sasha Barkov. You might have heard the dog sneeze in the background. That was rather adorable. As we are up 2-1, 25 shots to 16 here in game 3. Vatrano on the fourth line, Barkov on the top line. They are the difference makers right now. Power play goal of Evgeny Dadonov. We're up 3-1. Corey Perry gets one back, though, and that's why I wasn't trying to overhype it. It's a 1-goal game here down the stretch of the third period. Dennis Malgin, we get another goal from the fourth line. The fourth and the first line's chipping in right now. 4 minutes left. The Panthers are going to take game 3 on the road. It wasn't looking good there for a bit. Ben with the goal. Then, second period we turn it around. Third period 3-1, 3-2, but then that Dennis Malgin goal snuffs out any form of a comeback. 40 shots to 22. Ben Bishop continuing to give his team a chance at every turn. But right now, we have that 2-1 series lead. Dadonov and Huberdeau with big-time performances again from that top line. Vinny Trocheck continuing to be great. Dennis Malgin, though, the goal with just 6.5 minutes of ice time. Bob did not have a good game, but we made it work. And that's the key. We made it work. And we have a 2-1 series lead in this Cup final as we head into Game 4. Either this series will be tied, or we are going to have a commanding 3-1 lead in this Cup final. Let's find out which reality is our reality after this game. First period of Game 4. And the Dallas Stars are not done. Not by a long shot. Wow. 12 shots apiece. 5-1. at the end of 20 minutes. Klingberg scores early, then Blake Comeau makes it 2. Barkov gets it back a minute and 2 seconds later, but then Heiskanen, Sagan, and with 7 seconds left, Alex Radulov, 5-1. Bobrovsky was in for every goal. That is brutal. Absolutely brutal. So this game, barring a miraculous comeback, is done. Second period, it is 6-3. The comeback started. Vatrano and Malgin, the fourth line, chipping in, but Heiskanen, a power play goal on Chris Dreger, gets the lead back to 3. 22 shots apiece, 6-3. Heading into the third period, this series is going to be tied at 2 games apiece. A message sent from the Dallas Stars that this series is far from over. We have a power play here midway through the third that we can't take advantage of. Dallas gets one of their own that goes to waste. Huberdeau scores with just under 6 minutes remaining. Too little, too late is my guess. Dallas with a power play. Shorthanded goal from Malgin. Damn it. Oh, if only there was more time. Dennis Malgin, another goal. Shorthanded with 24 seconds remaining. But it was too little, too late. 6-5 is your final score. Dallas holds on after being up 5-1 at the end of the first period. Chris Dreger did very well to hold the fort and give us a chance to get back into it. If Sergei Bobrovsky shows up at all, we're good to go in that game. But ultimately, he didn't. He very, very much did not. A 583 through the first 20 minutes. Dreger was solid from there, only allowed 1 goal. Of course, we must have had the goalie pulled at one point, but yeah, Dreger did well. Sergei Bobrovsky absolutely let us down there. A $10 million goalie laying that big of an egg in a cup final. You're not going to have a very fun time. It's kind of crazy how few members of the Stars had points in that game. Pretty ridiculous. We are tied at 2 games apiece. We're going to jump right into Game 5. I'm not going to make any changes unless we lose this game. But we're on home ice. Both teams have one at home and one on the road. Who will have the advantage in Dallas in Game 6 when the Cup is in the building? First period, and a 2-0 lead early for Dallas. Power play goal for Corey Perry. Tyler Sagan scores again. 14 shots to 9. Bobrovsky is letting us down big time. Second period, we get one back at least. Frank Vatrano scores. 27 shots to 21. A better offensive output from Dallas, but they didn't have the goals to show for it. As we go to the third, down by 1. Early power play for the Stars. They take advantage. John Klingberg. We are in trouble here. We are in big time trouble here unless we can find a way to beat Ben Bishop. And it's not looking too good. Under 5 minutes left. Excuse me for that. Corey Perry, the empty netter. That's it. That is it. The Dallas Stars are 1 win away from winning the Stanley Cup after a 4-1 victory in Game 5. And ultimately, oh boy, ultimately, Sergei Bobrovsky may have cost us the Stanley Cup. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but boy, don't I want to put Chris Dreger in. I really want to put Chris Dreger into this game so badly, but we have to stick with Bobrovsky. We have to. I mean, we have to stick with the team that's gotten us here. Sink or swim. Sink or swim. We will stick with the team that's gotten us to this point in its current form. And we'll see what happens. And if this team comes up short, we'll make changes from there. Let's do this. Game 6, Cup in the building. Dallas can win it at home if they can just get the W here. Otherwise, there will be a Game 7 back on home ice. Here we go. First period, advantage Panthers. Vincent Trocheck scores on Anton Khudobin. If Ben Bishop is hurt, we're up 1-0 regardless. Outshot 13-10. Second period is scoreless. 19 shots to 15. We're 20 minutes away from forcing Game 7, 20 minutes away from overtime, or 20 minutes away from blowing our chance at the Stanley Cup. And Corey Perry scores 48 seconds in. Absolutely ridiculous. Matthias Janmark scores as well. We're down 2-1. If Ben Bishop's hurt and we can't beat Anton Khudobin, we don't deserve the Stanley Cup anyway. It's not looking good. Under 5 minutes left. Really not liking the looks of this. 1:45 remains. We need a miracle here, or the Dallas Stars are about to raise the Stanley Cup. That's all it comes down to. We need a miracle here, or the Stars are about to raise the Stanley Cup, and then any questions that we had over should this series end if we win, well, those go down the drain because that's no longer a question. It's going to be off True Broadcast. I don't even want to switch it. I just want to see what happens here. Mike Hoffman over the line. Come on, Mike. Goes for the spinorama past Janmark. Doesn't happen. Janmark right now, as it stands, has the Stanley Cup winning goal as Hintz dumps the puck in. Can we get control? Heiskanen for Klingberg. That top D pairing is absolutely insane. Mark Pysyk up to Noel Acciari. We have weird line combinations right now. Acciari just walks into traffic. We need to get our top line out there for the love of God. Let's hope our defense can hold on here. Janmark takes the shot. Kick save by Bobrovsky. Dadonov to Pysyk. Barkov able to come up with it. Get the top D pairing out there, please. Evgeny Dadonov. We're approaching a minute left. Dadonov can't get it back to the point. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Okay. It's all right. They dump the puck in. Can we get the chase going? Faxa denied. Uyghur up to Dadonov. Let's go. We're pulling Bobrovsky. Evgeny Dadonov. Huberdeau. Dadonov. Over for Barkov. What a save. Sagan has it. Tyler Sagan. Doesn't pull the trigger. One-timer doesn't go. There's a penalty. We took a penalty. Oh, my God, no. Brett Connolly to the box with 36 seconds left. We have been able to score shorthanded goals throughout this postseason. But Connolly with the hook on Radulov. And that might end it. It's Acciari and Boyle against Radulov, Sagan, and Ben with 35 seconds to go. Our top players are off the ice. Corey Perry has it. Lindell shot deflection. Bobrovsky is able to make the save. We just have to see who's out there on that second unit. I can't believe we're going to come this close and not make it. Really? We're going to get this close in Season 1 and have it ripped away from us. Story of my life. Get this close to true happiness, have it ripped away from me. Story of my life. Dennis Mulligan and Sasha Barkov are out against that top unit for the Stars. We lose another draw. One-timer, game over. Jamie Benn off a ridiculous passing display. His 11th goal of the postseason. And the Dallas Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup in Season 1. A brutal penalty from Brett Connolly. Bobrovsky with no chance. No chance whatsoever. And Dallas is going to win the Cup in 6. In a situation where we can only look at it as we failed. We were good enough to win this. We had the opportunity to take a 3-1 series lead, and instead we lose 3 straight games. Barkov scores. 17 seconds left. Sasha Barkov scores. We're within 1. We are absolutely going to call our timeout and pull our goalie. We're just going to go for it. Why waste time? Barkov's 10th goal on the slap shot. 10th goal of this postseason, and here we go. It didn't factor in me pulling the goalie again. That's okay. Great game. 17 seconds left. Can we win this draw? We can't, so maybe it's a good thing. Alexiak turns the puck over. Ekblad has it. Up for Barkov. 10 seconds. Mackenzie Uyghur brings it over the blue line. Uyghur What can he do? Back now for Ekblad. Tried to throw it. Radulov's on the back check, and the Dallas Stars have won the Stanley Cup in Season 1. A tease of a goal from Barkov that was too little too late. We fall short of our goal in Season 1. It's not as devastating of a cup loss as I've ever had. But obviously, it's frustrating to see a team be that close and still fall short, because it looked like everything was going our way, but ultimately we just did not have an answer for Ben Bishop. But I think ultimately Sergei Bobrovsky, despite only allowing 3 goals in that game, and the last one you can't really blame him, Sergei Bobrovsky just wasn't what we needed him to be. And I think the crucial game here, as you look back at being 5-1 down at the end of the first period in that prior game, that's what killed us. That is absolutely what killed us. So, it's tough, it's unfortunate, and the real downside here is that we are kind of stuck with Bobrovsky at least until Spencer Knight's ready. And that's going to be a couple of seasons, and then it gets into the question of just how the hell do we get rid of Sergei Bobrovsky? Especially if we try to do so without retaining cap, because even if we do retain cap, that is a brutal situation. I mean, you look at the contracts that Barkov and Huberdeau are on, it's, we're going to have trouble in the future. I mean, you could say this was year 1 of a certain window, and I don't know if you'd necessarily be wrong. Now, this team, it is going to change a little bit over the next few seasons, I would imagine. Again, we have some younger guys like Heponiemi and other young skilled forwards that are on their way up that we're not going to want to play in a more defensive role. So it's like, okay, when do they break in to the top 6 as Corey Perry gets the cup second over Joe Pavelski? That is just another repeated kick to the groin of Sharks fans everywhere. Who did it go to next? Rupe! Again, I really wish the logic in terms of the order was a bit better. He kind of looks Victor Hedman-esque. Like, if he were to be like, yeah, he's Victor Hedman's cousin, based off of how his face looks in the game, I would believe you. The Dallas Stars. A team that I was considering using until I said, you know what? No, I want to use a team that's never won a cup. They are the ones to beat us, and Ben Bishop is the reason why. Ben Bishop is a Stanley Cup champion, robbed of the Vezina in real life last year. Probably won't be robbed of it this year. He might be. Dallas wins. Dallas wins. And that sets the stage for us to not exactly know what's going to happen next. Where does this team go as Anton Khudobin shuts us down? But Ben Bishop was there, which makes me think, okay, what the hell even was the logic? But regardless, we lost to Khudobin. Very weird situation. As we got so damn close. So damn close. The Rochester Amerks win the Calder Cup. And taking a look here, we might as well recap it. Again, we managed to beat Tampa in 6, Toronto in 6, the Islanders in 5. But ultimately, we fall short in 6 games to Dallas in the Cup final. Again, Sasha Barkov, you would have seen it, definitely would have won the Conn Smythe. I mean, all of our top players, we only had 2 players out of the top 6 to not be at least a point a game. That's insane. Secondary scoring might not have been exactly as high as we needed it to be. Just the bottom line is the defense wasn't there. The goaltending. The goaltending just simply wasn't there. And like I said, I was tempted to start Dreger in Game 6. Maybe that would have helped. Maybe it wouldn't have. But everything else was firing on all cylinders, except for the goaltending. Sergei Bobrovsky was not what we needed him to be. And we are not Stanley Cup champions as a result after winning the President's Trophy, a 57-win season, in case you forgot. we fall short. Nathan MacKinnon wins the Art Ross and the Hart. John Carlson won the Norris. McKinnon, the Lady Byng. The Calder did go to Alex Nylander. Conn Smythe, the Radulov, as you saw. Darcy Kemper won the Vezina. Bobrovsky did win the Jennings. Masterton to Patrick Nemeth. The San Jose's coach won the Jack Adams. Patrice Bergeron wins the Selke. Ted Lindsay Award to Nathan MacKinnon, as well as the Rocket Richard. He was phenomenal. Down in the AHL, Drake Batherson scored the most points. He was also league MVP. Chris Stewart scored the most goals. Top rookie, Blake Lizotte. The top defenseman, Henry Jokiharju. And top goaltender, Vienny Vevalainen. MVP of the playoffs, the Hamburglar, Andrew Hammond. That brings Season 1 to a close as we walk away empty-handed. What happens to this team heading into this next season? Again, I have no idea. We have some contracts that are up. Dadonov, Hoffman, Uyghur, some other players that we might want to keep around. Brian Boyle's probably gone, but like Howrlyuk, Malgin. And then again, you have a younger guy like Borgstrom where it's like, okay, he pretty much needs to be top 6 or just not in the NHL. There are some decisions to make here, for sure. And ultimately, I can't say just where exactly this team is going to be. But for now, we are done here. I thank you very much for watching, for supporting this video, this channel, for supporting me. It is greatly appreciated. Drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Check out everything in the description. Of course, all the socials, the Patreon as well. And of course, shout out to my patrons in the early phase of that venture. Greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy. And we were so close.